evening. In a sobering interview with ITV News London, a bus driver has laid bare the shocking working conditions she says drivers across the capital are forced to endure. She told us workers have to choose between sleeping and eating on their long-awaited breaks, and that access to toilets are so scarce that she's been forced to use a jar on the top deck of her bus in times of desperation. And she's not alone. Former workers say their colleagues are overworked to the point of danger, with fatigue so severe it's not uncommon for drivers to fall asleep at the wheel with passengers on board. Carolyn Sim has our exclusive report.
It is their job to keep London moving, but life as a bus driver doesn't always run smoothly. We've protected the identity of a serving bus driver who told us she works 7 days in a row and is exhausted, but tight schedules mean she's often given no time to take a proper break.
You might have to make the decision to either eat or have a nap. We do it in our canteens. Mostly I try to do both, but if I haven't got time, I will usually nap. Yeah, I'll miss lunch because you've got to decide if you're really that tired. Sometimes the time they give you between shifts is not adequate. It's like being jet lagged.
London has 675 bus routes, but on 25% of them there aren't enough toilet facilities. Drivers have to resort to this.
I've used a jar, a newspaper and baby wipes.
Whilst you've been in your cab?
Well, no, not in the cab. I've gone upstairs. But it isn't uncommon to do that. It's just you haven't got the time.
So you have had to go upstairs in your bus, get a jar and go to the loo?
Yes.
How does that make you feel?
It would be really good if they could provide adequate facilities, but they don't, so we just deal with the reality.
I've fallen asleep on the wheel.
It was fatigue which forced Kevin Mustafa to quit his job as a bus driver after 5 years. He says it's not uncommon for drivers to nod off at the wheel.
I pulled up at a set of traffic lights some years ago on a route, and then all of a sudden looked up, the lights had gone red back to green. I realised I'd closed my eyes. So luckily enough I was stationary, but some of these incidents that are happening out on the road is absolutely, for me, in my opinion, absolutely some of those tie back to fatigue in London buses.
Another former bus driver, Lorraine Robertson, says she was in a constant loop of fatigue and worry during her 20 years of service.
The feeling of being dehydrated, shakes, headaches, disorientated, I think that always put me on edge. Every time I got on the bus I had to figure out, well, where am I going to use the toilet? Am I going to crash? That is my worst fear, that I would actually crash my bus and hurt people, because I don't get up in the morning and think to myself, well, today I'm going to have a crash.
Driver fatigue is something that's been talked about for years. In 2017, the London Assembly did a report and found it was chronic. They urged TfL to take action. In 2019, TfL's own report found that 17% of drivers had fallen asleep at the wheel.
Safety on London's buses is a subject London Assembly member Neil Garrett has pushed the Mayor for answers on.
The issue of safety is incredibly important to the Commissioner, to TfL and to me.
All of us, whether we're bus passengers or just other people on the road in London, you know, the fact that the people driving these huge vehicles aren't properly rested always, they're not properly cared for, they're not in a fit environment to do the job, it's a huge problem. And I just think the Mayor is not taking it seriously, and he's batting away this criticism year after year.
TfL told us today they're working together with operators on a range of measures to further improve working conditions. They're committed to ensuring that all staff have a fair work schedule with safe vehicles and access to the facilities they need to carry out their roles effectively. But this driver told me she feels unsupported.
The driver will be blamed whether it's his fault or not. You know, we get everything thrown at us. It's just such a hostile industry to work in.
Early this morning, bus drivers at Bow Station began a 3-day strike over working conditions. Their employer, Stagecoach, say they remain committed to continuing dialogue with union members to resolve the issues. But drivers say fatigue is dangerous and they want TfL to act.
Carolyn, some shocking stories in your piece there, but it's not the first time that passenger safety on buses has been called into question.
No, it's not. I mean, it is really shocking, but this isn't actually a new issue. And part of the problem we've been told today is the structure of London buses. There are about 10 main contractors who operate buses on behalf of TfL. They want to run their services to time, but drivers tell us they're being pushed to the limit. Now, we want to hear from any more drivers or former drivers who want to talk about their experiences, and there's an email that you can contact. It should be on the bottom of the screens now.
Yeah, it is there. There are other concerns too about recent bus crashes.
Yeah, that's right. There were 4 crashes in as many weeks last month in February. In Southwark, we saw a bus crash into the front of a theatre. Now, TfL tell us that those crashes are still under investigation. They've promised to be transparent and reveal any details and outcomes of those investigations. But bus drivers are worried, passengers are worried, and what anyone wants, obviously, is a safe public transport system.
Yeah, absolutely. Carolyn, thank you very much.